broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, you guys! Yes, there was a lot of trouble going on in this episode. Vanderpump Rules Season 3, Episode 4 in the Doghouse. And I'm your host, Kristina Zias, along with...
Hi, guys, it's Megan Stecher.
And I feel like this show might as well have just been called the Katie and Tom show, because that's what went on during this episode.
I know, it was nothing but Katie and Tom and their troubles.
I know. Okay, so we get started and we are at Barkin' Bitches on Fairfax, which I was so excited about, because if you're not from LA, you don't know, but it's like a dog store, and they buy dogs from kill shelters and save them, and then you can get them from there and adopt them. So I was so excited to see this, and it was Tom, and Ariana, and Tom Schwartz wanted to adopt a dog for Katie.
Yes.
What do you think about this? How would you feel about if your boyfriend adopted a dog for you?
I would die. So we do have an adopted dog, which he got right before we started dating. So it was kind of in both of ours, the whole relationship. But if I hadn't talked to him about it, I think I would be like, oh my God, oh, we have this huge like responsibility now. Oh my God, we didn't agree to this. But I mean, it is a dog. He did adopt it from a kill shelter situation. So, I mean, you can't be mad. It was really cute.
When I first moved here with my boyfriend, he, like a month into it was Christmas, and he wanted to get me a dog because I've always been asking for a dog for like my birthday and Christmas my entire life. And I was like, no. And then one night I was home alone and I was like browsing through dogs online. And then I've never looked back ever since. So we have an adopted dog too, and we go to Barkin' Bitches all the time. So I was really excited to see this. Now, I think the issue with this is not so much that Tom is getting a dog for Katie, but that Tom is getting a dog for Katie to push back Katie wanting babies or wanting to get married.
Yeah. What did he say? I think it'll buy me 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, I would die if I saw my boyfriend say that on TV.
I know. I wonder what they were thinking. And I actually saw both of them at the Grove the other day.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. They were going to a movie, and they were really nice. I chatted with them for a little bit. So they seemed like they were in a really good place. And I'm sure they saw this episode already.
Yeah, and I've been following them on Instagram, and it seems like all they're doing is posting tons of pictures of them going places and being happy. So I don't know, things seem good, even though this episode was all about their troubles.
So Tom gets this little dog named Gordo, who he says is really weird looking but really cute. And he brings him home, and then Katie obviously falls in love right away. And like poof, all their troubles seem to disappear. The power of a dog.
Yes. Well, I mean, it kept coming up, but it did seem to kind of dissolve. Katie not wanting Tom to hang out with everyone else, like causing trouble, saying bad things about her, saying bad things about their relationship to him. And the dog really did seem to like smooth that over for a little bit.
What do you think about everyone getting involved in their relationship? Because apparently the drama is that Katie was caught taking photos and like kissing up on a guy at a club, and then motorboating his crotch. Which I didn't even know was a thing that you could be doing.
Right. I don't get it either. So I think I kind of want to say I don't even believe it. I kind of think it's a product of Jax taking something too far. I mean, or maybe she was really drunk. I feel like on both sides of the fence of this. I don't know what to think. I don't know if it's Jax stretching the truth, or if she did put herself in a situation that she probably shouldn't have if she has a boyfriend and was really, really drunk, but kind of didn't do anything wrong. I'm not sure really what happened, but I didn't know motorboating a crotch was a thing. And it was like repeated so many times.
Totally.
I'm like, this is going to be like the new thing, like a new catchphrase.
And then, I don't know if you watch What Happens Live too, but Jax is on it, and he like kind of demonstrated or explained what exactly motorboating a crotch is.
Right.
So I would think that Jax is a little butthurt anyways because he got his nose job or his nose fixed. And Katie never called or went to check up on him. So he was already kind of pissed at her. So I thought that's where all this drama came from and like all the Katie bashing. But then also Scheana said she saw it too.
And that's why I'm like, well, Scheana isn't really like a troublemaker, and she doesn't like to take sides or lie and get involved with all that stuff. So for the fact that she thought she saw it too, I'm like, well, was, you know, Katie just taking off her shoes? Like she claimed, like what really happened? I can totally see it being like Tequila Katie and her being like blackout drunk and doing something wrong.
Yes.
But I don't know. I think like Tom's right. He said, well, would you even admit it to the guys? He was like, well, come on, you wouldn't admit that if you did it anyway, you know, so.
So I think that Katie was struggling with the fact that, one, these stories were being brought up about her, and two, the fact that they were being brought up by Tom's best friends, and I guess the fact that he wasn't like defending her and wasn't like, hey, like shut up, like I don't care about it, which he did say he didn't care several times. But she seemed to be really upset that he wasn't defending her.
Yeah, and I was like upset for her because Tom wasn't defending her. I just kept thinking like, oh, he's such a wuss. Like you're sitting there with your buddies, like Jax was completely trash talking Katie to her face.
Like when they all were getting lunch and stuff.
Yeah, that scene at the end when they were out to eat. It was like, you're a cheater, you're a cheater, you're a cheater. Call Stassi, get your leash, blah blah blah. And I don't know if Jax is kind of gunning after Katie because she's friends with Stassi, and that's where all this is coming from. I don't know. Jax has this real vendetta against Katie right now, and I that's the only thing that I can guess is going on, is that it's because she's friends with Stassi and he's trying to make her miserable for it.
I believe that as well. I will say though, I kind of feel like this probably happened, and I don't think it was like Katie ever trying or like purposely cheating on Tom. I think she was probably just blackout and had no idea what she was doing. Right. And I think that when she was trying to cover it up, it was a little uncomfortable because she knew exactly what they were talking about. So she like made up that tying of the shoe story or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do like what Tom said. He's like, I don't care, because even if it did happen, even if it is true, like, it's not like she's not a cheater. Like, this isn't something that she does. Even if it is something that happened, like, she meant, like, nothing was meant of it. And I was watching this with my boyfriend, and he was like, oh yeah, she definitely did it. She definitely did it. And then he was calling like Tom like a wuss, pretty much, being like, or like, oh, he's like letting her girl like walk all over him. And then we like, to fast forward, there's a preview, and it was about something about Tom cheating on Katie.
Right.
He's like, oh, no wonder he doesn't care. Like, he does the exact same thing.
Exactly. That's exactly what I thought when at the end of the episode, seeing the previews for next week. I was like, oh, well, because they're both doing it.
Yeah.
They're both getting super drunk out at clubs, and you know, they have a little bit of reality show fame, so I'm sure people just kind of throw themselves at them every now and then. And if you're so drunk that you don't know what you're doing, like, maybe you do just kiss them, you know?
Totally.
So I don't know. I feel like maybe it did probably happen on both of their parts, and I think Tom, it's almost alarming how chill he is about it, but I don't know if he's chill because he also did it, or if he's chill because it doesn't even bother him, because he doesn't like, his feelings aren't strong enough for Katie for it to bother him. Right,
which is really scary and like sad to see too, because I feel like he on this show, he seems like he kind of wants to get out of this relationship, but he like doesn't know what to do.
Right.
And you see her, who's like so in love with him, and always talks about wanting to have babies and wanting to get married, but then like she'll say stuff too, like, you can't even like keep a bartending job. Like, how are you going to raise kids?
Right.
So I don't know. There's like a really interesting relationship dynamic going on.
Yeah. And I think it's very classic. Like, it's a classic dilemma. Like, girls always are ready to get married and want to have kids, and guys always are like, crap, this is the last person I'm ever going to sleep with. I don't want to get married, you know? And I think, especially out here in LA, he can definitely get away with just living in that middle ground of like, we're cool, it's cool, we don't have real jobs yet, we're not old enough yet, right? Like, no one else out here is married yet.
Right.
And the thing is, if they lived back home where they were from, probably they would be getting married at this point.
Because everyone's like married and have kids.
Yeah, it's funny. And I think girls, like, once your friends start getting married, it's okay. You know, he mentioned some of Katie's friends have started getting married and having babies.
Or like Stassi's moving in with her boyfriend and like saying, like, she's setting up a room for a nursery, which is crazy.
Right. Like, I think I fell victim to that years ago. There was one year where I went to like 8 or 9 weddings in a year. And I was like, what's wrong with me and my relationship? Like, why am I not married? Or like, why don't I want that? And it's like, you know what? It's not right for everyone.
Right.
So just because your friends are doing it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Oh, totally agree.
Back to Tom and Katie. I don't know what's going on with them. Like, I don't know if he's doesn't want to marry her in the end or if he's just not ready.
I think I agree with both of them. I don't know. I think he kind of seems, I mean, we've had him here a bunch of times, and he's like so nice and so goofy and fun. Maybe he's just a little bit immature. Like, maybe he's just not ready to get married.
Right.
But I think he seems to love Katie a lot.
Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Me neither.
I don't like that Jax is meddling and saying all these awful things on camera, like, oh, well, he's told me he's not happy with Katie. He's told me they never have sex. They always fight, this and that. He just doesn't know how to separate himself from her because they share a house and they share, you know, physical items. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's like Jax stirring the pot, meddling. For whatever reason, he doesn't like Katie and he's trying to break them up. Like, it's like he's the mean girl at high school.
I think it's not even like so much an issue with Katie. I think it's an issue with Stassi for sure. And I think that Jax likes to be like in control of things, and he wants to like kind of have his boys like to go out and do things with. And then, I mean, Tom Sandoval is in a relationship, but he said that he seems so much happier than the prior relationship that he was in. And I think before it was the 6 of them, it was Tom and Kristen, and then Tom and Katie, and Stassi and Jax, and it was that group of 6, and they always used to hang out together, and now that group is broken up. So I feel like Jax almost like wants a whole new thing and is ready to push Katie out of the way.
Maybe that's it.
But he's so selfish.
He is.
And I think that he's the last person who should ever judge a relationship, which is why I think it's so funny and why I like felt really bad for Katie, because even though when they were getting together and they were eating lunch, like she did bring it up to him and she started a fight with him. But, like, I feel like Tom needed to have her back and needed to be like, Jax, like, you need to leave, or, like, you need to stop. Like, don't talk to my girlfriend like that.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like, if I were Katie, I would have started crying while I was still sitting at the table in front of them. And I would have stormed away, and he would be sleeping on the couch.
Totally.
Like, I'm sorry. That was not okay. I mean, at least he went after her and consoled her. But, like, to just sit there, like, not getting involved at all. At least Sandoval, like, jumped in and was like, you guys, stop. Schwartz did nothing.
Nothing.
I would not be okay with that if I were Katie.
And the funniest thing is like, Jax is like, I wouldn't even care, but I just wish she would tell the truth. But Jax is known as a pathological liar who never tells the truth. So how he can get on someone to admit to something that they claim they never did is just...
Yeah, I mean, I liked Katie at least getting in there and being like, you're a cheater, you slept with his girlfriend, so how dare you try to accuse me of that? Like, I love that.
Yeah.
I was like, get him, Katie. Get him.
It's just so crazy how, and this is like brings me into something else. So like, Kristen is finally allowed back at SUR to work. And you see her and she keeps saying, she's like loving this Katie drama.
Loves it.
And part of me feels bad for her because everyone really does hate on Kristen. And yes, a lot of that is well-deserved. Like, Kristen has effed up several times. But really, like, people get in her business way more than they get in anyone else's.
Yeah, and they all let Jax off the hook.
Yeah.
So.
And no one seems to care about the Katie thing, so I think that's why she was trying to, like, dramatize it a little bit more. So it's like, see, I'm not the only one who does bad things. Why do you think that people kind of nag on Kristen more than anyone else?
I think Kristen is kind of like the scarlet letter right now. Like, because she's a woman, it's like, it's okay for a guy to be a total sleaze, but not for a woman. So for the fact that she cheated on her boyfriend and is a woman, they're not going to let her get away with it. They're going to, like, label her the outcast, and she's got the scarlet A on her chest. And I feel terrible for her because everybody else gets to get away with their stuff. And she did have a good point by saying, like, or who was it? Maybe Scheana was like, you know, everybody's pretending their relationships are so great, but I know all this background stuff on the DL. And you know, she's married at this point. So she's like, my relationship's great. No one else's is. They're all pretending. So, I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I feel bad for Kristen.
I do too. But I guess Kristen does a lot of stuff where, like, she kind of, like, calls upon it.
Yeah, she keeps meddling. Rather than, like, let it lie, let everybody cool down, let's see if friendships naturally strike up again, she's constantly meddling. It's like she's trying to bust Tom for cheating on Ariana. Now she's trying to get in the middle of, like, Katie and Tom's business and be like, oh, look, you guys aren't perfect either. And it's like, if you really want to be friends again with these people, that's not the approach.
Right.
And, like, why are you, if Katie was your former friend who you want back as a friend, like, why are you acting like that?
Or, like, also, like, maybe you should just go out and make new friends because obviously these people don't care about you and don't treat you like real friends should. Mm-hmm. And vice versa, so.
Yeah, I agree. And I felt, oh my gosh, I was really sad when they had, Katie and Kristen had the conversation out back of Sir. And I was like, oh my God, maybe this is going somewhere good. And I kind of liked how Katie said, like, oh, I held you to a higher standard. And I'm just friends with Sandoval to, like, keep the peace because my boyfriend's friends with him. And but then it got creepy. Then it got Kristen saying, like, mean stuff to her to upset her. Like, oh, well, you motorboated his crotch. You know, you cheated on your boyfriend. So it just went to a bad place.
Yeah, like she go, like, one step and then 2 steps back always.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so that's enough of the Sir drama. Except Jax's nose, which was, like, another highlight of this episode. Which, okay, did you really notice a big difference?
No, and I saw that on Watch What Happens Live. The whole question of the night was, like, does Jax's nose look any different than before?
And like, was it no?
No, it, like, no one by 60-some%. No, I don't notice hardly any difference. Maybe if they did a few different angles, I would see, like, the slight. It looks straighter down the slope there, but other than that, I think it still looks a little wide across the top where he got punched by Tom Sandoval. I don't know. It's just a little straighter, but, like, it doesn't look that. I mean, maybe that's the point. Maybe it was supposed to be really subtle.
I think so, but it's just so funny to me because I get wanting to have a surgery like that and wanting it to be really subtle so people don't notice. And I feel like that's what most people do. Mm-hmm. But he, like, broadcasts it on television and then shows up to his job in front of cameras, like, with a Band-Aid on his nose when he didn't need it. So, like, this guy's, like crying for attention.
Could you get over that?
No.
Wearing, like, the skin tape to work? What was that about? I was like, you literally want people to be like, what happened to your nose? Like, first of all, the whole staff knows that you got a nose job because you've been out for a week.
Right. So it's not even about the staff. He's like, I don't want people bumping into my nose by accident.
It's like, well, it's a piece of tape. I really don't think that's going to help your situation.
Right. And, like, who's bumping into your nose? Like, anyways.
What a idiot.
Yeah. I just can't even handle him.
He was literally telling guests of the restaurant, like, sitting at the bar, like, oh, and I got this nose job and we fixed my septum and, like, it's really subtle. And really, Jax, no one cares. Stop wearing tape to work to get strangers to ask you about your nose.
But the thing is that I feel like those guests were eating it up.
Oh, well, they were probably like, ooh, it's Jax from Sir.
They were probably like, I can't wait to go tell all my friends back what Jax just got a nose job.
I just signed a release so I could be on camera.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's crazy.
I do too. He's like a chick. He's way too much like a chick. And we all know girls are crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I can't.
So the other part of this episode was Stassi and Lisa. And I guess Stassi doesn't really have a job.
Right.
She's back in LA. She refuses to work at Sir, which I don't blame her for. But she's not really making any money, and she started this website, Style by Stassi, but unfortunately she's not raking in any revenue yet. Mm-hmm. So Lisa was like, well, how about, you try and work on some styling jobs to help build your resume? And so she gives Stassi a styling job. And now I feel like this is a really great opportunity, but it was interesting because I thought she was going to go out to different stores and pull looks for Lisa.
Me too. So for the fact that they were just fooling around in Lisa's closet, I felt like this was like a totally produced portion of the show that, like, I feel like there's been so much of that this season, and I get so irritated when I see it. I'm like, look, Stassi's a dramatic girl. We don't need to make up silly things for her to do. Like, just go film her real life, and I'm sure we'll get some good stuff from her.
Oh my gosh, it was totally produced. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and so it was like Lisa's like, oh, style my shoot tomorrow, which I'm sure she already had stuff picked out or pulled for her. They just grabbed that stuff out of the closet. I mean, I did like
oh my gosh, you are so right. You know what? I knew like part of it was produced. Like I thought at the end where like Lisa was like, she didn't even thank me, and Stassi was like, she didn't even thank me, and they were both complaining about the same thing. I was like, okay, like this is produced. But you're right, the entire thing was produced.
And I did like Stassi's point of when she said, I'm just here as a fluffer for Lisa. Like, obviously, I'm just here to confirm her clothing choices she's going to make for herself and drag her dresses around for her. Like, that's true. That's so true. And it's like, I could see it in my mind before it even happened on camera. Like, that's what was going to happen. But yeah, I just felt like, do we really have to fake all this? Like, Stassi's really a good reality show character. We don't need to make up this stupid fake stuff for her. Like,
see, I was a little bit naive. I didn't think that they were going to fake it all. So when she told her and she was reading the list of things that she needed, and I'm a stylist, so like I go out and pull things for my clients, and I was like, oh, this is going to be really exciting. And like, that's what she's going to do. And then that's when I started to get confused. But I wasn't until like a minute ago when I realized that everything was made up.
So how did you feel about this whole segment, being a stylist? Were you like rolling your eyes like, ugh?
I can never roll my eyes when we're in Lisa's closet.
It's true.
To be honest. I love when the episode takes place in her home. It's just so glamorous and fabulous, and I want to live in it.
I know.
So I thought it was interesting that Lisa was picking everything out.
Right.
It was like, what dress do you think I should wear? Like, I need to look like a Grecian goddess. And it wasn't like Stassi going in the closet and pulling a few items. It was always Lisa doing it and Stassi confirming it, like exactly what you said. She was there to be a fluffer. So, I mean, as a stylist, I didn't really think anything of it because I don't think that's what a stylist does. She was more of Jiggy's stylist.
Right. Which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
She was like, let's be honest, I'm dressing a dog with alopecia. This is not something I super care about for my resume.
But you know what I kind of liked is, I didn't realize, but does Lisa do all of her own makeup?
I think she does it a lot. I'm not 100% positive. I don't know if she just like touches it up on camera all the time to make it look like she does it.
Probably.
Because she does it on Real Housewives in Beverly Hills. So
she does her own makeup.
Well, meaning she's always in the closet with Ken at the house, or like or like their little makeup. Like common lobby area right outside the closet, and she'll be sitting at the vanity like touching up her makeup, talking about the other women to Ken. And I don't know if that's just like a thing she does on camera to give herself something to do, or if she really can do her makeup that good. I mean, she was an actress formerly, so maybe she can, you know, do her own makeup. I don't know. I'm
just feeling right now really sad because this is all fake, isn't it?
I'm feeling like a lot of it's fake.
Yeah.
Except for the Tom and Katie drama, which was good.
Which was real.
Well, here's my thing with Lisa this season is she's been on this season so much, like so much, making like 3 appearances per episode.
Right, which she never really did.
Never cared in the first 2 seasons. She would show up like, what, twice a season to yell at them for something? So I feel like there's something going on, something in the rumblings where like, either we're going to be leaving SUR and going to Pump because they can't stop talking about Pump and sending the staff over to Pump and Pump's opening party and Pump, Pump, Pump. Like, obviously, you'd want to promote your new business, fine. But I don't know if we're doing a whole thing of, like, we're going to be switching to Pump as the restaurant. Right. Pump as the restaurant next season, and all the SUR people will be retired, and Lisa's going to leave Beverly Hills. She's kind of trying to be so much more involved this season because she's over Beverly Hills, or feels like maybe she's going to be fired from Beverly Hills, that she wanted somewhere else to go.
That's interesting.
This is what the workings of my reality show, Diabolical Mind.
Yeah, no, I like that, and I agree with you because she has been on it a lot more, and it's like instilling unnecessary scenes too. It's just like more to show her own face.
Yeah, it's very scripted and very produced when she shows up, but she wants to be in it so much this season. So I don't know what that's coming from, but that was my theory.
What do you guys think? I would love to know in the comments if you guys can let us know if you think Lisa is going to leave Beverly Hills. It just started last week or 2 weeks ago. And if you think that they're going to switch from Sir to Pump. Because I wouldn't be surprised if that actually seems like a natural, almost transition.
Right. Just that all the Sir drama is really has played out so much, and it's like they're really digging this year. So it's almost like, well, we'll have these guys retire, and perfect. 4 doors down is Lisa's other restaurant that we've already been promoting, and Lisa's been involved so much in this season. Like, I wonder if the very end of this season we'll kind of see it like roll right into Pump. Like they have the Pump staff involved or something. So.
And maybe like 1 or 2 of them will go, so it seems.
Right, exactly. Because I know next week they're going to be sending Jackson, Tom, and Tom over to Pump to like tray pass champagne or something.
Right.
So at a party at Pump. So we'll see.
Who else? Okay, let's get into predictions then.
Okay.
Who else do you think
And now
would go from the
AFTERBUZZ
Sir
TV.
cast to Pump, or what else do you predict for the rest of the season?
Okay. Yeah, maybe like 1 or 2 people will jump ship over to Pump. I wonder who it would be though. I wonder if she'd like magically rehire Tom Schwartz, like as a favor to Katie or something.
I think she will.
Maybe, because I know that she had said on Watch What Happens Live, like, Katie has a really tough season. So I think we've seen half of it, but, like, what's the other half hold? Like, is it like, oh, God, Tom cheated on me really bad and I didn't know or something? And maybe, I don't know, Lisa maybe hires him back as a pity thing because Katie's, like, devastated. I don't know.
Okay, this is my prediction. I think Katie does have a really tough season. I think a lot of it has to do with Tom cheating on her, and I think that's the first drama that we'll see. But then I think they'll get closer together because Katie will lose one of her best friends, Stassi.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive Stassi and Katie are no longer friends.
I think you're right, because I have not seen any Instagram photos of them together. It's always Kristina and Stassi on Instagram, and it's a lot of Katie and Tom. There's no Katie and Stassi.
Katie and Stassi aren't friends anymore. I'm like 99.9% positive, but I don't know why.
Right.
Which is what I'm excited to see happen. And I think a lot of it is that Stassi is still trying to control the situation.
Yes.
And you know what? I wish Katie was like, dude, get off my back. Like, yeah, like maybe my boyfriend is still friends with these people, but like, just because you got up and left to and went to New York doesn't that mean that like we need to change our entire lives too.
Right.
And unfortunately, the drama that happened between Kristen, Stassi, and Jax was really between Kristen, Stassi, and Jax. So like, why does Katie have to lose all of her friends because of it too?
Exactly. It's like Stassi's demanding she take her side or you're out, which is very Stassi, very off with your head. So, I mean, she's good reality TV. My favorite line this week was her saying, I don't know what I've done to you, but I'll take a Pinot Grigio.
Oh.
I was like, she's the best.
Yeah.
Give this girl an Emmy. I can't even.
She's ridiculous.
Love her.
So let us know what you guys think. Comment below. And if you can, head to iTunes and like us and rate us 5 stars. And we'll see you next week. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Miss Zias.
And you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Megan Stecher. It's spelled MEGANSTECHER.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.